What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. It sounds as if time is running out for Xdefiant, as executives over at Ubisoft are getting antsy with the lack of success they are seeing with Xdefiant, a game that started off strong but has been dwindling ever since. A game that once touted millions of unique players now struggles to get thousands on a day-to-day basis. That does not sound like the mark of success that they were hoping for when this game was originally released. So let's dive into some journalism regarding this situation from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming. And he starts his article off with Xdefiant is on borrowed time as player numbers decline rapidly. Not a good sign. Whenever you hear the word borrowed time, just run to the hills. It's not a good situation. But let's dive in. Xdefiant was all the buzz when it launched in May of 2024. The game exceeded 1 million unique players in its first 2.5 hours, a Ubisoft record, and exceeded over 8 million players in the first week. Unique players, that is, different players trying the game out. 8 million unique players is a massive number. Executives were thrilled at the title's future and even reported in the company's latest press release that Xdefiant revenue contributed to its Q1 2025 financial success. But now, just 6 weeks from its Q1 financial report, Ubisoft HQ wants player numbers to increase by Season 3 or Xdefiant risks losing its much-needed post-launch support. So, what I'm gathering is there is a limited 3.5 month window here where Xdefiant has to get its act together. And this is maybe why we're seeing those updates from Mark Rubin regarding things like the hit detection and the netcode actually getting resolved, because they have a strict deadline here. Because if not, well, guess what? You don't get your act together, there's no game for you to be developing. You got to move on to the next project that Ubisoft has for you. A little disappointing to hear. The article continues. Internally, optimism for the game has shifted primarily due to the game's continuously declining player numbers and lack of player spending. One source told me that the game has been struggling to obtain 20,000 concurrent players across all of its platforms, whereas another said that Ubisoft would be happy with that number, suggesting that it's now much lower. The declining numbers have created tension and anxiety within the team, with sources who spoke to me believing that more layoffs are only a matter of time. So let's dissect this first. The game is struggling to get 20,000 concurrent players. Wowzers. Now, I'm not saying that the game ever achieved, 1 million concurrent players, but it probably was around 5, 6, 700,000. And to see it dwindle down to less than 20,000 is extremely disappointing to hear. This game deserves better. The community deserves better. But it's nice to see the community standing up against a game that just has missed the mark. And this is direct relation to the fact that the game wasn't ready to launch. And it was pushed to launch even though there were features missing and the netcode wasn't up to standard. And the last point I want to take away from this paragraph, there is a lack of player spending. People are less inclined to invest into a game that they don't really think they're going to play a lot of. Especially when cosmetics are as expensive as they are here in Xdefiant, people aren't going to buy them. So not only are people not invested in the battle pass, they're not invested in your cosmetics because no one's playing the game. No one's sticking around. The core problems of the game are extremely game breaking. And to add insult to injury, it's like 25, 30 bucks for a skin. Some people are going to pay that, but not everyone. Now, is the solution to lower the price? Maybe. Maybe that'll lead to more sales, but it could also be the fact that you need to fix the core problems that have been there since launch. Now, obviously, one of these solutions is much easier than the other. Lowering prices takes very little effort, very little time, whereas fixing the core issues of the game seem to be taking a lot more time and a lot more effort. And the worst part about all of this is that this could lead to more job loss, which in turn would lead to the problems never being fixed. The last thing I want to read here. As for Xdefiant's future, leadership is betting all their money on Season 3 to turn things around. But with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 set to release between Season 2 and Season 3, those I spoke to are feeling pessimistic about the game's future. One source even went as far to say, expect more Ubisoft San Fran layoff headlines within 6 months. That, to me, is extremely bleak and telling about the current direction of Xdefiant. Regardless of how much we want this game to succeed, there is pessimism within the studio that is developing it that they can properly get the job done in time. And maybe everybody was right. Black Ops 6 will be the nail in the coffin to Xdefiant. The game that we all wanted to compete with Call of Duty, to make Call of Duty better, is on the brink of collapse. The brink of completely failing. That's not what any of us wanted to see. Even the most pessimistic person, the most negative person regarding Xdefiant, still didn't think it would go this poorly. It's been worst case scenario. But it's not all negative. There is still a glimmer of hope. If the Ubisoft studio gets their act together over the next 2 to 3 months, which is the time they need, we could be seeing a completely different game by the end of Season 2 going into Season 3, which is right in time for Christmas season, which could lead to major success for Xdefiant. This could be a triumphant story of a game on the brink of death, re-emerging, coming back to life, and being the competition we all thought it would be. Being the invigorating, immersive experience that we've been able to see at times. There's been glimpses of it. But if they can capture those glimpses and spread them across the entirety of the experience, we're in for the game that we were hoping Xdefiant was going to be when it was announced all those years ago. When we first played the beta a year ago. When we first played the server test sessions a year ago. The potential is still there. Work needs to be done. Even though there's pessimism, nothing beats a great comeback story, and that's what I want to see for Xdefiant. I want my videos for Xdefiant to be talking about the comeback and not the failures. So that's where the focus is going to be. Let's get this game back on track. Let's get it to where it needs to be. So the next time that I talk about a Tom Henderson article, it's about Xdefiant realizing its flaws and overcoming them, instead of another negative one like this. I will link the article down below in the description. I would say go read it. I really respect Tom Henderson's reporting and his writing. He's one of the best in the business, so please support him as much as you can. And as always, guys, if you can support me too, that'd be great. The way to do it is hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. Let me know with a comment down below how you feel about everything Xdefiant related. Would love to hear from you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.